biggest points of conversation here at the World Economic Forum at Davos is the impact that generative artificial intelligence will have on jobs, on workforces into the future, and also on the tech sector. To talk about this, we're joined at the India Today Business Today studios at the World Economic Forum by the #1 woman in Indian technology, Chairperson of HCL Tech, Roshini. Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And with me in this conversation is my colleague and Business Today Television's Managing Editor, Siddharth Zarari. So I want to start by getting you, Roshini, to share with everyone watching at this time your sense of how this year you see generative AI move from being a concept to being implemented in reality at your workplace and elsewhere.
So I think if I was to compare with last year with this year, I think the journey that generative AI has taken, especially in an industry like ours, is use cases. I think people are still overestimating the impact of generative AI as far as business is concerned in the short term, and underestimating what it can be in the medium to long term. I think today, across the industries that we work in, we've got about 170 generative AI labs, their use cases. But is it translating into very large ticket size business deals? Not at the moment, small ticket size deals. I think where more transformation is taking place is in the pyramid mix and the workforce. Because all of a sudden, like any new technology, the first thing the workforce you need to do is put them into upskilling, put them into these new skills that they're going to have to train. And so we've got 250,000 people, at least 80,000 now in upskilling. And the pyramid mix also changes a bit. So in terms of at the time of freshers coming into the system, what is the kind of skilling that you want to give them? There's hyper automation in some of the jobs that they used to do previously. And that doesn't mean that the jobs are going away. I think the nature of the job is changing.
So let's spend a moment talking about that, because there is a paradox here. Typically, upskilling would require picking up new skills. Now you've got these models which are able to get the job done. And therefore, how has it been from an HR perspective trying to communicate to all these people who work with you? You said that the nature of jobs are changing, but especially if you're somewhere in the middle of the corporate hierarchy, you would be typically feeling very unsettled and unnerved.
Again, I don't think that is the case. And the reason I think that is because in our daily lives today, I think generative AI as a B2C has impacted us a lot more. So, I mean, if you ask an employee in his or her daily life, whether it's productivity and efficiency at home, working, with family, let's say I need to get an email drafted better, or ChatGPT or whatever, they're using that. Yeah. So they're already seeing it impact their personal lives. When you come into the professional workspace, over there the conversation changes because it's B2B. It's no more B2C. So they're coming with, as digital natives, they're coming with a certain experience. Then you bring them into the workspace. And for any of our customers to get the best of generative AI and the benefits of it, there is an applications ecosystem around it. So whether it's thinking about your data infrastructure, thinking about your data strategy, thinking about cybersecurity, thinking about cloud. I think a lot of these of our own customers have already invested in cloud and in their data infrastructure, which is going to now need different strategies to get honest data sets for their large language models and the kind of benefits they can get out from generative AI. So I think I would actually say the workforce is quite excited to work in these new technologies.
And absolutely, that's going to be an opportunity. But viewers, I must tell you that this is great that Roshini is here, because just literally hours ago, HCL Group has announced a major partnership with Foxconn, which is one of the largest manufacturers in the world. And this is for chip packaging and testing. Roshini, tell our viewers about what this is, because this is very exciting. It's part of Atman, Nirbhar, Bharat, and semiconductors. We want to have make big there.
So I think I'm going to rewind back a little bit. The genesis for HCL, starting from 1976, was in manufacturing and was in creating India's first indigenous 8-bit processor-based PC. We shipped it the same day as Apple, but we were a closed economy, so no one ever covered us. And so there's been a rich legacy that we've had in engineering services and creating core engineering. The avatar of the HCL group as it exists today is obviously having HCL Technologies as our flagship company in the forefront in IT services, but we've also got a very large workforce, about 70,000 to 80,000 people who are working in core engineering and engineering services. A subset of that is we do a lot of work in semiconductor design and FMS. So it's not that we're coming at it blindly. We have a certain DNA. We understand the ecosystem. We work, at least at HCL Technologies, with all the top partners. And I think today all of those companies in a standalone basis are looking at India as a market where they want to set up fabs. And, they're thinking about supply chains. And there's so much of manufacturing that is also moving to India. So I think that today India is a much more ready market to consume everything that's coming its way. So for HCL Group now, so not HCL Tech, I have to clarify that. Yeah. But it seemed like a very strategic thing to do, which is to go into the OSAT space.